Um, Hi guys, I welcome you all to your next class of this extremely important series. My name is Harshmeet Singh and this is your class for important terms related to the UPSC. I hope all of you are doing well and I hope all of you are ready to discuss the next topic. The topic that we have today at our hand is an extremely important topic, specifically with regards to environment. Today we'll be discussing about the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. Good evening to all of you, those who have come in. Hi guys, hello Tanvi, good evening Pankaj, hello Shrikutan, good evening Himanshi, good evening to each and everyone. I hope all of you are doing absolutely fine. This video is going live on YouTube, Gradeup IAS channel, and on the Gradeup app as well. So wherever you are watching this video, I welcome you all and I hope that all of you have a good time in this particular class. Good evening, guys. Good evening to all of you. Hi, guys. Good evening, Abdesh. Hello. Hi. Good evening. Good evening, guys. Chalo. So, without waiting any further, let's begin. Let's see which class, what do we have at our hands today. Hello, Avdesh. Hello, Anjali. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Chalo. So, the topic at our hand today is the Wildlife Protection Act. As Pankaj has pointed out in the chat, 1G, 1G Sanrakshan Adhiniyam 1972, one of the most important acts related to environment that we have in our own in our own parliament. So, Wildlife Protection Act 1972 was for the protection of the country's wildlife. It has been amended multiple times also. Sure of this. It has been amended multiple times also. The last amendment was in the year 2006. 2006 my last amendment tha. After that, the Wildlife Amendment Bill was also introduced in Rajya Sabha in 2013, but it did not pass. So the last amendment that happened, the last time it was amended was in the year 2006. Hi guys, good evening, good evening, good evening. So basically, why was it introduced? Wildlife Protection Act introduced क्यों किया गया था? First thing that you have to understand, हेलो, मैं आपका क्या नाम लूँ यार? आप अपना नाम पहले ठीक से बताओ. एक्निर, ECNIRP. एक्निर, if you can tell me a real name, मैं बिल्कुल आपका नाम लूँगा यार. So basically, the Constitution of India says under Article 48A, that is one of the directive principles, that the Constitution directs the state to protect environment and safeguard wildlife. So एक directive principle है ये, that the government has to make efforts to make sure that our wildlife is protected. It is also a fundamental duty. It is one of the fundamental duties to protect and improve natural environment, including forests, lakes, wildlife, etc. और इसी के अंडर ये law लाया गया. When the British were here, they were also introducing some laws regarding environment. However, the British were not really interested in protecting India's wildlife. They were interested in making sure that their own resources are protected. Hello, Prince. Good evening. So, in 1887, the British first introduced a law called Wild Birds Protection Act, after which killing of wild birds was suspended. The British then introduced a law in 1912 called Wild Birds and Animal Protection Act. However, British were not very strict with these laws because for the British, making sure that our wildlife is protected was never a top priority. It was only in 1960 that for the first time protection of wildlife became a top priority for India after independence. Now, why was there a need for such a law? First, see, India, as you know, is one of the ecological, biological hotspots in the entire world. जितना ज़्यादा variety of plants, animals, etc. इंडिया में है उतना शायद ही किसी कंट्री में है. So India has a wide variety of flora, fauna, etc. which needs to be protected. Number one. Second, there if we don't have such kind of a law, अगर ऐसा law नहीं होगा, we have seen there has been a drastic decrease in the population of many important species. hunting has been very very prevalent. British era के time से hunting has been a profession or hunting has been a leisure activity. So many important wildlife animals etc. are killed for financial benefits. You would have seen that people kill animals, wild animals etc. for very 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 bad reasons, for the reasons that they think would be financially beneficial for them. There were only used to be 5 national parks in India before 1972 act. Only 5 national parks. After this act, इस act के बाद और कई सारे national parks बने, which led to more protection of the wildlife. Now, what exactly are the features of this act? It provides for formation of different types of body like wildlife advisory board, wildlife wardens, giving powers and duties to them. India has also become a party to CITES, which is an international agreement where countries have agreed that they will protect the endangered species around the world. Guys, if you are watching this on YouTube, please do like this session, subscribe to the channel as well. CITES क्या है? CITES is a multilateral treaty under which the countries have decided to protect endangered animals. CITES is also known as Washington Convention. Do remember this, prelims के लिए it is important. Prelims में you do at many times have a question about environment related treaties in match the com column. So make sure Washington Convention is what you call CITES. It prohibits the hunting of endangered species as well. All these are matters which are referred to in the Wildlife Protection Act. Abid has a question. How can we study wildlife acts in chronological order? Abid, it's man, it's such an easy mail. Go to Google, search for wildlife related acts in India. They will be in chronological order. Remember, इसमें इतना कठिन थोड़ी है कुछ भी. नहीं? Have you heard of Google? But that answers your question. So the act also led to establishment of Central Zoo Authority. All these are very, very, very important pieces of information. Central Zoo Authority was established to ensure how the zoos are run in India is as per the law. Under this act, 6 schedules are created, schedule 1 to 6, that talk about which animals etc. have to be protected. कौन से animals को आप नहीं मार सकते. जिन animals के नाम schedule 1 और 2 में लिखे हैं, the animals written in schedule 1 or 2 are very highly protected. You cannot kill them. If you kill them, there will be a very high punishment. Then comes schedule 3, schedule 4. That is how it works. They cannot be hunted. Now, this act led to establishment of National Board of Wildlife, which is an advisory board headed by the Prime Minister. It talks about promotion of conservation, development of wildlife, etc. Guys, this is a very, very, very important piece of information. I really hope that you remember this because this information is very critical for the prelims examination especially. Okay, so make sure that you remember it. Abid, if you join the Gradeup Super subscription, environment की जो classes होती हैं उसमें आपको पूरा बताया जाएगा कि which act is important, which act is not important. ठीक है? Apart from this, under this act, we also have National Tiger Conservation Authority to conserve tigers in India. This is under Project Tiger, which was launched in 1973. It was because the population of tigers drastically reduced in India. तो ट्राइबल जो हमारे टाइगर्स की पॉपुलेशन थी वो एकदम से बहुत ज़्यादा नीचे हो गई थी. दैट इज़ वाई वी हैड लॉन्च प्रोजेक्ट टाइगर एज वेल. अब इस एक्ट के अंडर दिस एक्ट वी ऑल्सो हैव डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ एरिया लाइक सेंचुरीज. व्हाट आर सेंचुरीज? वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरीज में सेंचुरी इज अ प्लेस वेयर अ refuge where abused wildlife can live in peace. Animals are not used for commercial exploitation. They don't have any disturbance. Animals are not allowed to be captured inside a wildlife sanctuary. And the most important part, it is the state government that declares a wildlife sanctuary, not the central government. Remember this. If the state government wants, अगर state government चाहेगी, so they can include or make a new wildlife sanctuary. हेलो तबस्सुम, पादरी बेटा हिंदी इंग्लिश दोनों में बोल रहा हूँ, मैं ट्राई कर रहा हूँ. So a wildlife sanctuary is declared by the state legislature, by the state government. Human activities such as timber harvesting, लकड़ी लेकर के आना, collecting minor forest produce, etc. are permitted but very little. So remember, wildlife sanctuary में in wildlife sanctuary limited human activity is permitted. So humans आके थोड़ा बहुत सामान वहाँ से लेकर के आ सकते हैं. They are open to general public, but people cannot go unescorted. When you go to wildlife sanctuaries, there are some people, there are some experts who go with you. Only public servants are allowed there to live. Boundaries are not generally fixed and well defined. So actually that is how the wildlife sanctuaries work. There is a chief wildlife warden who is given the permission to make sure that they have this kind of an, or to make sure that all the facilities are given to this area. Prince Gradeup does not have any offline classes. We are 100% online. Sanctuaries can be upgraded to the status of national park. So national park is a higher status. Below national park के नीचे आती हैं wildlife sanctuaries. Okay. Examples are Indian Wildlife Sanctuary, there's a bird sanctuary in Tamil Nadu, the Andheri Wildlife Sanctuary, and many other ones. Then we have national parks. National park has more restrictions as compared to wildlife sanctuary. They can be declared by state government, but their boundaries cannot be changed except if the state government passes a resolution. So national park भी state legislature ही बनाएंगे. The state legislature will decide which will be a national park, which will not be a national park. Their boundaries are fixed and well defined. National park में, for example, when you go to Kaziranga National Park, they have a fixed boundary. Okay, there is no human activity that is allowed. So there is a difference between these. In case of wildlife sanctuary में human activity was permitted and there was no fixed boundary. The boundaries were not well defined, but for national parks, the boundaries are well defined and no human activity is allowed absolutely. No grazing of livestock is allowed. No person shall destroy or exploit anything inside the national park. They cannot be downgraded to the status of a wildlife sanctuary. This also is an important piece of information. They cannot be converted into a wildlife sanctuary. So wildlife sanctuary can be converted into a national park, but not the other way around. There are many examples of this. I have personally been to Kaziranga National Park, the Jim Corbett. These are amazing places where you can go and you can have a look. Apart from these, we also have conservation reserves, which the state government declares certain areas for local communities. We have community reserves also, tiger reserves also. However, the most important ones are wildlife sanctuaries and national parks only. There cannot be any exploitation of the produce inside these sanctuaries. Manish, what's your question, Manish? Manish is saying if center have to include any animal in sanctuaries. Manish, see, including animals can be done by center. The state government will decide which wildlife sanctuaries is upgraded to a national park. वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट डिसाइड करते हैं. The boundaries are changed by state government. Including of animals can be done by the center. The kind of question that are asked मैंने बताया तो. The kind of question will be which of the following is true or not true about wildlife sanctuary. So उसमें points कुछ ऐसे होंगे. The points will be like human activities allowed or not allowed. Who decides their boundaries, state government or central government? Wildlife Protection Act क्यों पास हुआ? When was it passed? These kind of things. There can be matched the column also depending on the year of different environment acts. This is how these questions are asked. Now there are 6 schedules in the Wildlife Protection Act. First schedule has the names of endangered species which cannot be hunted upon. They are given absolute protection like tiger, black buck, Himalayan brown bear. These are the species that cannot be killed. Schedule 2 also are given very high protection. They cannot be hunted except when there is a threat to human life. So if there is a threat to human life, then you can hunt them, otherwise you cannot. So Schedule 1 species is given the most protection. Schedule 2 is given protection at the second position. Then Schedule 3, this does not include endangered animals. This includes protected species, but they are given lesser protection. Fourth, or Schedule 3 and 4, Schedule 5th are the ones which animals that can be hunted, which you can kill. Mice, rat, crow, fruit bats, etc. Schedule 6 is important. Schedule 6 are those plants which cannot be cultivated because they are dangerous. Schedule 6 are plants which you cannot cultivate because they are dangerous for you. Okay. Now I have 2 questions for you from this part. Okay. This question was asked in 2017 paper. Let's see if you can answer this. In India, if species of tortoise is declared protected under Schedule 1, what does it mean? A, B, C, D. If it is protected under Schedule 1, what does it mean exactly? What do you mean when it says, okay, Himanshi, okay, Avdesh, Omar, Varsha, okay, okay, Shrikutan, okay, Tabassum, Deepti. Chalo. The answer to this question actually is A. It enjoys the same level of protection as the tiger. Tiger also is in Schedule 1. Tiger also is in Schedule 1. That is what you mean. If you say a species is in Schedule 1, that means it is given the same protection as tiger. Second question, again in 2017. Okay, Manish, Himanshi, Avdesh, माधुरी, मनीष कौन सा आंसर होगा, फर्स्ट या सेकंड? तबस्सुम, दीप्ति, ओमर, राजू. चलो, लेट्स सी. According to Wildlife Protection Act 1972, which of the following animals cannot be hunted by any person except under some provision made by law? Gharial, wild as buffalo, buffalo, though all these three are actually correct. All these three are correct. All these three cannot be killed unless there is specific permission given, because these are in the second schedule, so they cannot be hunted. All of these are protected, all of these cannot be hit. So all of this is true. D is the correct answer, which brings us to the end of the class. I hope you enjoyed it. Just to remind you, the time is running out. If you are preparing for the IAS 2021-22 examinations, make sure that you join the Gradeup Super subscription. The best part is the Gradeup is running the IPL fever offer for you with the beginning of the cricket season. You get a flat 45% off on Gradeup Super for some days while using the code MANTRA45. Make sure you avail it soon because it will run out very, very, very quickly. There are just limited number of discounts that will be given. You can select your plan from the Gradeup app, apply the coupon and then make the payment. Avdesh, there is no method to memorize them. I'm sorry, you have to see which one is coming in the news and hope that you remember them all only. These are the benefits you get of subscribing to Gradeup Super. You get access to all the running and upcoming courses in the UPSC category. You get the structured study plans, day by day study material, expert faculties, mock tests, and much more by Tabassum. These are the faculty members. I'm sure that you would have attended their classes. All of these are experts of their own field. I teach polity and governance. We are also on Telegram. Do search for Gradeup IAS preparation channel and search on the and join it on the Telegram app. We upload daily study material and short notes on that app. This class, the important terms of UPSC, happens every Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. So don't forget to join me at 5 p.m. every day from Monday to Friday, where I discuss important terms from all the subjects. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye. Have a good day ahead. I'll see you tomorrow.